What up, y'all? Welcome back to Yeah, I Said It, the podcast for all things sports. And today, we getting into Jake Paul. Is it over? Giannis, he has some things to say about KD, but did he really? And like I said, I promised, I'm going to be the GM of the Chicago Bears and tell you what they should do today. Next on Yeah, I Said It Sports. Subscribe, y'all, please. Subscribe. What up, family? Welcome back to Yeah, I Said It, the podcast for all things sports, the podcast for the fans and by us, the fans. I am your co-host, Chris, and I got Darius, Blair, and Sean with me today. What's up, fellas?
What's up? What's up?
What it do?
What it do?
Nothing, man. Nothing, man. It's just, it was a pretty good sports week. Now that we are back in full swing of things, Jake Paul, we're gonna start right there. Jake Paul versus Tommy the Fury. Jake Paul said, if I lose, I'll pay you double. If I win, I get all the money I said I was gonna give you. And Jake Paul, first of all, Tommy Fury's daddy was like, deal. And Jake Paul was like, oh, your daddy got to say deal before you. You ain't got no confidence. Turns out, Jake Paul took an L, man. Split decision, man. He took the L. He going to have to pay. I don't know if he's going to live. They shook on it. He going to have to pay my man Tommy Fury double.
If that thing ain't in the contract, it ain't happening, cuz.
I know it ain't. I know it ain't. That's just he also said it's binding. He also said it in front of people on camera. So Jake, pay that man double whatever you said you was gonna pay that man. And not only do you gotta pay that man double, you gotta pay that man double after a L, bro. You gotta hold the L and give him twice the money, bro. When's the last time any of y'all had to pay somebody double for getting your ass beat by that nigga, bro? Nah, I ain't never had to do it. I ain't never had to do it in my life.
That's
funny. It's a sad situation in the Paul house. Maybe his brother want to step up the weight and get his revenge on Mr. Fury. For those that don't know, his name is Tommy Fury. He is the younger brother of Tyson Fury, who is the world champion right now. So, Blair, you've seen some of this fight.
Yes, a couple.
How did you feel about the fight? Was it entertaining to you? How did you feel about the fight, man? Did you feel like the right decision was made?
I guess. I mean, he got outboxed. Like, Buddy was really just looking for like haymaker shots, and he wasn't really throwing shots. And I'm not gonna say I guess he, strong. He has enough power. Maybe he can knock somebody out. But I just think he started boxing too late. Like, for what real boxing is, I don't know how much Tommy Fury puts into boxing, and he looks like he's kind of in shape, but I don't like. He didn't look that great either, and he's supposed to be like a lifer, you know what I mean? So I honestly don't think that Jake Paul probably could have done something, and maybe in a couple, but he's already on the older side for a boxer. He's like what, 26 already? You know what I mean? Like a lot of that stuff happens before you even hit 25. He just doesn't have enough years in to be a really good boxer. He knows how to sell a car. Dude is super successful. I wish him the best, but he's not a boxer. And Tommy Fury's not a good boxer. And that's the difference in them. Like, just because Tommy didn't look super great, but he knew how to throw a jab. Like, it was just those little things. Like, that dude's not a real boxer, man. So if he'd have stuck to beating up like ex-basketball and football players, he'd have been good. And ex-UFC guys. But like, you see what a boxer with a limited amount of boxing skills can do to him.
Well, I want to push back a little bit. When did Bernard Hopkins start boxing? I think it was like later on in his life, though, right?
Whoa.
I'm asking a question. I'm not comparing the two. I'm not comparing the two. I'm not comparing the two. I'm asking a question because did he start boxing later on in life?
Let me answer your question with this. Why did Bernard Hopkins stop boxing?
Because he got locked up.
No, Chris, that's not why he started boxing. He started boxing because people used to stab him because they couldn't fight him. He started that, yeah, after the jail and all the he was fighting as a child for years. He banked everybody. So much so they said you cannot fight Bernard Hopkins. You have to get a knife and you have to stab him. He has been stabbed, and that's because they cannot beat him in a fist fight. That ain't the same dude. That dude has hands of stone on the street. And then you get into boxing. That him getting into boxing, even if he was 20, Chris, the dude had more real street fights than Jake Paul.
Fair.
He had hand training because he had to actually fight, bro. He actually threw real hands. And he was so good, they said, you cannot fight Bernard. You better stab Bernard Hop. You got to stab B Hop because you can't fight him. You cannot beat him one-on-one, bro. You have to stab him. Yes, he went that way after he went to jail. But there was a lead up. He was a fighter. He just figured out how to challenge it, channel it. Jake Paul is a YouTuber, bro, who decided he liked boxing.
I'm just trying to be fair with the young man. I don't want to just be like, hey, because he started later on in life. I don't want that to be an excuse when we've seen people start later on in life and become world champions. That's all I'm saying.
Here's the difference. When you hear the story of those people that started later on in life, the reason you're hearing that story because they out there smoking somebody in front of you right now. Like the reason that story makes sense and why people have those stories is because they become immediate. It's immediately clear that these people are great. Jake Paul fought retired non-boxers to start his career, not like low-level bum boxers, like actual boxers. He fought retired people who were never boxers.
Mixed martial artists
and different start, bro.
And hoopers and I get it. I feel you. I feel because I'm with you.
I'm not against the man. I'm not against the man liking boxing or being into boxing, bro. But boxing is a sport that takes a accumulation of knowledge. You don't just pick it up in a year or two. It's real like tricky and techie and savvy and all those things. And you see what happens when you just go looking to knock somebody out. The same thing happened to Deontay Wilder. I'm going to knock out. What'd he do? Smoked in 2 fights in a row by the Gypsy King, bro. Like, come on, man. And all he want to do is knock him out too. And everybody like Wilder got the power. Doesn't make you a great boxer because you throw hard punches.
Fair. Darius, how'd you feel about the fight, man? How'd you feel about the decision? Was it the right decision?
I do feel like it was the right decision. I felt like a lot of people thought Tommy Fury was going to beat him for a lot of some of the things that Blair said, you know. This is a guy who, while I will give him credit for not just jumping into it, but he wasn't like into it like he's going to be a professional boxer. It was, hey, you know, I'll be going to the gym. Yeah, I'll be boxing. Blah, blah, blah.
Boxing is cool.
Yes. And he combined it with his YouTube success and found a way to leverage it and make a lot of money.
Stroke of genius.
With that being said, of course, I feel like if he fought an average boxer, he would get obliterated, son, like easily. But
they can, yeah.
But as far as this fight, yeah, it was. I guess you could say it was close, but it was like when you really look at it, it wasn't as close as I thought the cards had it. I thought Tommy Fury actually beat him by a few more points. he did have, he had the knockdown late. But by that time, I mean, Tommy Fury was piecing him up, man, piecing him up. And especially once you got to like round 6, round 7, man, that boy was tired. It was tired and it was weighing on him, bro. So you could see the effects kicking in. But I thought it was a decent fight. I just want to know, what is he gonna do now? Because the whole thing was he was undefeated. It was, oh yeah, he's not this, he's not that. But hey, he undefeated in what he doing. Now
Now
he's
he
taking the
lost
loss.
to a subpar boxer, bro. Like everybody watching is like, that dude's not
So
a
I'm
good
like,
boxer.
you can't backtrack. If there's something that you want to keep doing, you cannot backtrack. Ain't no, oh, let's go back to fighting wrestlers and MMA retired. Nah, man. You got to press on if you're going to press on, or just take your winnings and go.
Yeah, because you actually jumped a little bit ahead of me. Yeah, I was going. That was going to be my next quick question. Is it over for him? Like, is it really over? Because now, I mean, part of the allure was supposed to be like, this dude is out here beating these MMA fighters that really aren't boxers, and he's knocking some of them out, and all those good things. And this is the first time he actually fought a real boxer, somebody who actually is training to be a boxer, and he got outboxed. I mean, I don't think anybody on
Outside
here,
of
anybody
Floyd,
that watched that fight, yeah,
but that was an
that was his
exhibition.
brother. That was his brother.
That was his brother. Okay.
Yeah, it's his brother. So, this is his first real boxer that he fought. So, he got outboxed. I don't think anybody would disagree that he got outboxed. No matter who saw this fight, everybody saw it. It was like, yeah, he getting outboxed. He's just like Blair was saying, he was throwing heavy shots and missing, heavy shots and landing, but it really wasn't doing. It was all to null and void because
Boxing
he
is
was just
about
getting
your work.
outboxed.
Boxing is
Yeah,
about the work you put in the ring, bruh. Like
correct.
Tommy Fury knows, like even if nothing he did was hurting him, he knows you have to throw combinations. You got to throw more punches at the end, look like you're the aggressor. Like there are tactics to boxing that aren't just throwing your hands forward trying to punch somebody. Like there's a lot
Which is
more
fair.
to it. He got outboxed by a dude that everybody clearly is like, that dude's not a good, he's not a great boxer. He
Facts.
was stiff. You can tell, like, if he fought somebody that was really good, he gonna get smoked. Cause
Facts.
and that dude's probably, he's been boxing longer than Jake Paul.
Facts. So yeah, I kind of figured it was gonna go this way once he fought a real boxer. It just was just gonna be like, this is what is going to be the result. He was going to get outboxed. It's basically he's outclassed because he doesn't know the finer little small little details in boxing, which
That's
the other kid
time, bro. That's
does.
just
And
time
that
and
just
matches.
that's just over time and going through your course of your career. Now, Bernard Hopkins did start his career at 23, but this dude is already what, 25, 26 or whatever.
Yeah,
And
but
they've
he
been doing it for
started
about two,
it. But
3 years.
again, bro, Bernard Hopkins was street
Started
fighting bare
I
hands
get
for
it. I
years.
get it. That was just a footnote to what we were talking about. I just wanted to
I got
present the
it.
facts. I'm trying to present a fact. But do I think it's over? No, I think he still has a shot to bring some people in. I'm not even cool. But I do think he can sell a fight, man. That's the thing. He can sell a fight. He gonna be able to get
See,
somebody.
you think he can
Uh,
still sell a fight after the loss? Because I'm
I
like,
think yeah,
being
yeah.
undefeated and not losing is a big draw for like fighting and boxing and stuff, bro. Like,
I get
especially if
it.
you're
I
not
get
that
it.
good. Like, especially
I
if you're
get it.
not that good.
I get it, but if you at the press conference and he say some bull jive and you like, all right, I just want to see him get knocked out. Somebody will tune in just to see him get knocked out because he said
But
some
is
bull.
anybody gonna pay for that, bro? Like now, because it's a pay-per-view thing. Like, are people gonna want to pay for that again?
I'm not sure.
I
Like,
I'm
think
I
not
don't
sure,
know
but
what the
I think
casual
he's gonna
I
be able
think
to at least
people I think people will continue to pay if he fights again and he wins.
But he
yes,
has to win his next fight, right? Like if they do
yes.
a rematch, which is supposed to be in the contract, he has to win that next fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if he
Facts.
gets beat worse than the first fight,
Which could definitely,
It can
it's
happen.
probably gonna lean. A lot of people might think it's probably gonna lean towards that way. Might get beat worse than he did the first time.
Yeah, so if they do a rematch, we'll never know. I mean, he was already trying to set up other fights after
That's the
this.
thing. The rematch was supposed to be. It's see. That's what kills your momentum is a loss. That's why they always throw a rematch clause in there, so it can be like, hey, I lost, but I beat him up the second time, and we move forward.
Facts.
You
Sean,
gonna
you got
have to
anything
fight
to say
that dude
about
again.
this?
I mean, I wasn't intrigued anyway by no celebrity fighting shit. I don't get into that. That's like motherfucking Mr. T against motherfucking Rocky. That shit up back to me.
Feel
Clubber
that?
Lang? That's Clubber Lang. You mean Clubber Lang is against Rocky, or because that's more like Mr. T and Hulk Hogan wrestling than Clubber Lang. That was a character, bro. That's like Mr. T and Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania.
Well, this took it to the level where people was actually paying attention to this young man, and he started getting the MMA fighters, and people started to watch and pay for this man to fight, and he got paid some M's. So him and his brother, so he made some. I think he taught a lot of boxers that you can go about it your career in a different way and start to possibly sell fights in a different way. So we'll see. We'll see if
He
anybody
can't,
take hold.
that his path is not a normal boxer's path, bro.
No, exactly.
He didn't teach boxers anything, because they know the later you start in boxing, the worse you are for trying to box. Like most of those dudes that are boxers have been boxing from like at least teenagers, man. Everybody
get
ain't
that.
Floyd, and you don't grow up into it, but like they're usually fighting from teenagers.
I'm talking from the perspective of you ain't got to lean on your promoter to make your fights. Is what I'm saying. Like you can
Okay.
do, you can go a different way of,
But you need your own
selling
name
your
for that
fight
to
and
work,
doing it.
bro. You need your own name.
True, but also
Mhm.
once Floyd Mayweather got to a certain status, he didn't need his promoter anymore, and he started doing it like this.
But again, Floyd Mayweather wasn't losing, and he was like, bro,
That's what I'm
you're
saying though.
saying it with non-losses. You need to win to be able to do what Jake Paul. You either need to be a YouTube person already established. You can't just walk off the street and try to do what he did. That's why they need promoters. Nobody knows who you are.
But I kind of agree with Chris. This shows that, hey, if you can, which in this day and age, it's easier to garner your own following than it was in past days.
I agree.
I'm not saying for you to go out here and be a Floyd Mayweather or nothing like that. But
Correct.
But the thing
you
is,
can
those
make some
M's
money.
only come to like Floyd. They only came to Jake because of his name and the work he put in is in the other space. It didn't come from boxing, is what I'm saying.
That's fine.
That's
But
fine.
he got paid for boxing, bro.
I
He
agree.
got
I
paid.
agree. Yeah.
And that's all we're saying. If
Yeah.
you're able to, when you're
You
able to
never
get to
know,
the point
dog.
in your career that where you can generate eyeballs, you can go ahead and do your own thing. And I feel like the next person to do that is probably going to be like Tank or somebody. I'm like, all right, I'm out here by myself. I can do this myself. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Only time will tell. But you know what we got to do? We got to move on to the next topic. So, my man Giannis was on a television show the other night, and he had a comment about a couple different NBA players, but one comment in particular stuck out. And I'm gonna play it for you guys.
Keep joining super teams to win an NBA title. How about we work out together sometime so I can teach you how to carry your own team? Oh!
So, if you didn't catch that, he said, "How about Katie? You join my team so I can teach you how to carry your own team."
He didn't say join his team. He said joining like practice type shit.
Yeah.
Well,
He said,
He
come
did
work
say in
out
yeah,
with
practice. He did say in practice.
misquote, but yes, that's what he said. But
me.
was the joke? Did the joke two things? Did the joke go too far? And or hey, do you kind of like agree with what he said? Like, hey, that's kind of
Look,
true.
man.
Every joke have a little bit of truth in it.
Oh, I don't. So
Sometimes they just joke.
me personally, I don't have a problem with just about anything Giannis said, because Giannis said like 6 years ago he wasn't super teaming it. So like anybody that won a ring on a super team, to me is fair game to Giannis. Like That's just how he personally views it. Because everybody was like, he should just leave Milwaukee, and he was like, I ain't leaving. Like if I can't win here, I'm just not gonna win. Same Damian Lillard kind of thing. But he was like, so he already made his stand against like super teams a long time ago. The trying to read the teleprompter and putting a name to it is like, what's the difference? Barkley just the other day was like, KD won't be an all-time great if he don't win on his own. Like Barkley keeps saying this. I don't get it. I don't understand if that's crossing the line because he shouldn't have said it. But I'm like, all those dudes in the league aren't friends. Like they make it seem like everybody likes everybody. They don't. They're not all friends. Giannis doesn't really hang out with those dudes. They don't work out in the offseason together. He does his own thing. I think he was just okay with the joke because he like, yeah, it's true. He felt like it was true to him. So he was okay making a joke about it. And he got a ring and will forever be known as the dude who didn't bail teams to get a ring in an era where everybody around him changed teams to get a ring.
Yeah, I think. See, and then on some of the talk shows, I mean, on some of the shows that that come on TV, I think they forget who Giannis is. He is the guy, like Blair said. I'm not with the super team shit. I don't need to practice. I don't need to be friends with everybody. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm not gonna be working out with you in the off season. It's just gonna be me and probably my brothers, and that's all. That's how I roll. Fuck that super team shit.
And if what he
And he
said,
just,
what
I
he
feel
said,
like this is just even though it's a joke, I feel like this is a continuation of Giannis really showing y'all who he really is. He like, I don't give a damn. I don't care. I'ma do my thing. With that said, it is a joke. I thought it was kind of funny. It's some truth in it to me because I've said it before already before this. Brianna did not agree with this, and she had her say about, she not on today, guys, but she definitely said something in the text message like, this dude better watch his mouth, basically. I'm paraphrasing. But yeah, man, I don't have a big problem with it. I understand some people were just like, oh, he forget where he was before, but he got his chip. You can't say he forget where he was before he got his chip. No, he remember. He got his chip. Ain't nothing you can say.
And before he got the chip, he was saying the same thing. It's like,
And
I'm
he
not
was
doing
saying
it.
the same thing.
They put
He
a
was
team around
saying
me
the
and I'm
same
not doing it.
thing.
So
Facts. So it is what it is, man. I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? I understand if you're a KD fan, you don't like that shit. And I feel you. But it is what it is. He feels like the Suns are a super team number 3 for KD, and he like, I still ain't with that shit. Darius, what you thinking, man? How you feel about it? Was it too much, too little, just right? What's up?
No, it wasn't too much. I feel like people doing what they always do, blowing this bullshit out of proportion, man. Bro, it was a joke, bro. There are a million ways to skin a cat. Giannis did it without what we considered was a super team, which is absolutely fine. KD did it with what we would consider a super team. Guess what? It is absolutely fine. Don't matter. It's gonna change perceptions of opinions. But the facts is both of these dudes is champions. Yes, Giannis, if he got a chance to make a joke, he is a funny guy. He be trying to be funny. He be trying to fit in. To him, I'm sure in Giannis's head, it's literally just a joke. He's
I'm
like,
having fun.
I don't think he really looked down. I don't think his opinion of players is less because they play with good players. I don't think it is. But I feel like he does stand on, hey, I'm not going to go join up with somebody.
just not
If,
gonna do what
if
everybody else did.
yeah. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I just feel like it was a good jab. I mean, these dudes supposed to have banter, man. Every time, like Blair said, everybody ain't buddy buddy, and they don't always just gotta be on some hey, we are together. Yes, You need to talk trash to your opponent. You know why? Because you got two dudes that's at the cream of the crop. Yes, these niggas is gonna talk trash to each other. I would expect nothing less.
Dude, this is what's funny to me because like it's cool when Jordan did it because Jordan did it to everybody. They be like I say, like, hey man, I deserve the MVP. Dude, it ain't better than me. He ain't better than like. So I don't get why when Giannis does it, it's like that's just
Yeah, I'm
rude and
like,
inappropriate,
he's
and you're
not
not supposed to
supposed to.
say stuff like that. Like that
What you
doesn't sound
mean?
right to
I'm
me.
supposed to feel like I'm the best in the world because he is.
Hey, I don't have a problem
Yeah.
with him
It's
saying it. I
not
don't have a
like
problem with KD saying it.
and then it's not like he is, and this is. I expect any top player to feel like
You
I'm
better
the
than
best.
everybody else. You
I can
supposed
beat
to.
anybody on any given night. But it's
You
not like
supposed
he's
to.
like Ja Morant, like out here. Yeah, he booming, but whatever. And but he hasn't been in the league that long and he ain't won nothing. Bro, this is a back-to-back
MVP.
MVP. This is a finals MVP, defensive player of the year, multiple all-star, all NBAs. This is the best
Dude's
player in the
effort is
world
not
Top
dude's effort is
75
not a
all-time
question,
player.
already. Bruh, this dude the best player in the world right now. He can say what he want to say. If he got up there, if Giannis got up there and said, fuck everybody, ain't nobody better than me. What?
No different.
He, guess what? When it's debatable, he can say that shit. Nobody can sit here and just downright say, oh, no, it ain't true. You gonna have to debate it.
The
When
only
you
thing
that
everybody
nigga,
gonna point
you
to is
can
his jump shot. Like that's the only thing you have about Giannis to point to is that his jump shot is not the
exactly.
purest
Guess what?
jump shot in the
When
league.
they look
So
when they look up when they look up the history books and look at the numbers, it's not gonna say, oh well, 85% of his shots just came from him dunking. It's gonna say this nigga was dropping 30 bombs and 40 bombs.
yeah.
While being on the all defensive team. Sean,
Exactly.
jump on in here, man. How you feeling about what Giannis had to say? His little
Uh,
jokey joke.
as funny as it sounds, I agree with everybody. You're supposed to have that camaraderie between superstars anyway. And I believe all to be true. KD do get the luck of the draw. He goes to where he fits. But this time I believe it was more of a GM thing. They wanted to do right by that man.
Yeah.
But what
He actually he fulfilled his job duties, bro, while he was there. He did what he was supposed to do.
Yes.
exactly
Up and played.
exactly. But I don't feel like no ill will to it. I seen Shannon Sharp's reaction. I don't know why he tripping like that because I mean, in sport, motherfuckers jaw jack. I don't give a fuck if it's tennis or golf. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I think it's fun for the sport because all these motherfuckers pretend to be buddy buddy, and that shit just whack to me. Um, they always want to team up and all that shit. I think it was actually fun for the sport. It was good for the sport. And but one thing I do want to say about Giannis, he's talking about teaching motherfuckers at practice. Nigga, you don't work that good with your brothers. Cause them niggas trash.
Maybe they just not as talented. Maybe he do be working them.
Trash. They got it, man. They just ain't got it, man.
They ain't
They
He
tell
be
them
working them.
got
You
it,
know,
dude.
that's funny, bro. I thought about that too, because they just said the younger one just made it to the league and he like 21 and he like played for he just got put on
Hey,
the Bucks G League team. So like I guess he went to college 2 years, he tried to get drafted and he didn't. So he on the Bucks G
how
League.
many of them niggas got rings?
Three of them actually. I think all three of them got all three of them got a
LA
ring.
and then the
But
Bucks.
the
Guess
youngest
what?
one was on the Lakers.
LA
The
and the
youngest one
Guess
was
Bucks.
on the
what?
Lakers.
So he ain't
Mhm.
he
The younger one, the youngest one just
Yeah.
got to the league, bro.
Back.
yeah, four of them.
No, not back. The younger one is
It's
like
4 of them
21.
in the
It's
league
four
now.
of them.
Four of
Well,
them.
no,
Oh,
the one
so
from LA is out. Like the one that played in LA, I think he's out the league. But the one there's a new one that's 21. I think his name is Alex or something. He's 21.
guess what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know
Boy,
what you're
fast.
talking about.
Boy, got that jury. Boy, go back home. The boy Kanye back at home, bro.
Oh,
Go ahead,
Man,
Giannis. Man, talk your trash, man. Fuck KD.
Yeah,
man.
what's funny about you brought up Shannon Sharp? Like the funny thing about that is this is the same dude that said, "Yeah, we said it. Whatever they said, we said it." Like, come on, man, you're the most
Shannon,
trash talking
hey,
dude in football,
call,
and you
hey,
gonna act
call
like
the National
it's
Guard.
rude to talk trash about players. That come on, bro. Come
Call
on,
the
man. You old
National
now?
Guard, because we are killing the Patriots. We are killing the Patriots.
Come on, man. Like that's what we doing. What
you
was
that
his?
guy, you can't have a problem
Because
with
he
this,
never
man.
said
Come
a
on,
name,
Shannon.
and I'm pretty sure he said names, bro. I don't get it.
Come on,
I don't
come
get it.
on,
The
we
most
love you, but come
the
on,
most trash talking football dude is like, you don't say that about another basketball player. That doesn't even make sense, man.
come
Because if
on,
Russ would have said it, everybody would have been like, ooh, Russ ain't never won anything. But everybody would have been like, Russ played harder than all them dudes. Like nobody questions how hard Russ plays. Everybody knows Russ puts it all out. He just hasn't won anything.
Right.
facts. And another thing, y'all people y'all don't want to talk about it. Hey, but he can say, hey, he didn't win nothing when he came over here with me. Whether you like it or not, did he? Yeah, they dipped it. They shipped his ass on back on where he was at. He ain't do that shit to me, and I beat him. What's up? So you know what I'm saying? He got a right to say whatever he wants to say.
Yeah, I guess on that run they did have to go through Brooklyn in that second round. So,
Yep.
however you look at it, KD was out there, and it didn't work out.
This is
Didn't
just
work out.
two great players. You know what I'm saying? Giannis done throw a jab. I'm expecting KD to throw a jab back, and
That
it's
I was gonna ask that question. Y'all think KD gonna say something back?
probably, and it's just,
Probably, yeah.
yeah, and it's gonna be a joke, but it's
It's
just
gonna be
like,
all in
hey,
fun.
that's friendly banter, and that's good. And then when the boys get on the court, then they gonna talk shit for real.
Man, I don't get it. And it's the
And
same
I'm
dude that
fine with that.
same dude that KD didn't draft James Harden after he got traded and was like, what? No. Like, come on, man. Come on, bro. Somebody trying to hear that? Y'all was just boys 2 weeks ago. The thing y'all get drafted, you like, I ain't gonna draft James. You like, they like, what? You ain't gonna draft? You try not to say anything. Everybody know what it is, man. It just nah, bro.
Should have
Hey.
just said it. He was like, I would have been like, I'm sure you know I wasn't gonna draft him, man. I am not.
Giannis was the same dude that said I ain't drafting James because I want him to pass to me.
Exactly.
Come
Kate just
on,
straight up
man.
and said it.
Come on, man. He say what everybody else is thinking.
Bruh, he's being a competitor, man. That's what competitors do. I don't
That's
understand
what they
how
do.
people are mad. I don't understand. Like, do they, like Blair said, if you know anything about anything with Jordan or that era, even down after that, Kobe, bruh, elite
Because his own
trash talk.
teammates trash, bro.
Yes,
Dude's
elite
all
trash
garbage. Call him
talk.
out by name in the press. Like these, come on, man.
And you mad because he
I ain't got
said
no problem with
he did something with a super team. Man, imagine what he told this nigga in the second quarter by the baseline.
it.
Right.
We will never know because they haven't published that yet. They ain't came out with that 30 for 30. But y'all know what we got to do. We moving on. So, new segment alert, everybody. It is the GM segment for the NFL draft.
There's
Okay.
news.
If people are interested in this content, please like, share, and subscribe. So, me, Christopher, I am no longer Christopher. I am Ryan Poles. I am the GM of the Chicago Bears. I
Trash.
have the number one pick in the NFL draft. Okay. As I look at my team, my defense, we were last in sacks. That's terrible. About 18th, first is the pass. That's decent, but we got to get better. I'm actually last in total defense. Basically, my defense is the worst in the NFL. But I did trade away a lot of dudes that I had on my defense to get some assets as far as the draft is concerned. Now, let me look at my offense. My offense is last in the NFL in passing. It's, from what I've seen, it's one of the top rushing offenses in the NFL. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Hey,
I'm
Can
18th
we
in
take out?
scoring.
Are we taking out the quarterbacks rushing? Is why it's the top
No,
rushing?
so they're actually number one in the NFL in rushing.
Well,
But
we gotta take that out because that is a asterisk.
sorry, it counts.
we got to boot Sean
Asterisk.
out of the meeting because he ain't bring us no grippos.
Man, that bag looks
So
good.
funny,
and
bro.
tasty.
I was like, I've never seen a regular bag. So that's what they do. They just tag the regular silver bag that they put in the big bags.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Basically. So
Softball.
18th in scoring, number one in rushing. What do I have on my offense? I have the
Nothing.
best player on my team is a quarterback.
Yes.
Most people in this spot, first pick overall, they select the quarterback, right?
Sometimes.
Let's look at my quarterback. My quarterback, just pure, does he get me points? Does Justin Fields get me points? Because points win the game. My offense generated 33 total touchdowns this season. Justin Fields accounted for every single last one except for 8. He had 25 of those 33 touchdowns.
That was a weird
Meaning he either rushed and threw for it or he passed for it. That's all the touchdowns he had, 25. He accounted for 25 of 33 total for the entire season. So basically, I agree with what the Yeah I Said It podcast has been saying all year. It's Justin Fields and everybody else. It's Justin Fields. Whatever he do is what's going to happen out here on the field. And what happened out on the field is I had the worst record in the entire NFL, which also grants me the number one pick. What do I do with this number one pick overall?
Please let us know.
Guys, do I take Bryce Young, who Todd McShay says he is the next Patrick Mahomes? He's just shorter. But, Todd McShay also said that the quarterback for the Jets was going to be the next Patrick Mahomes, and that's not working out quite right for them. And they passed on the guy that's my quarterback right now. He's better. So the best thing for me to do is to pick a defender or an offensive lineman or a wide receiver or a defensive lineman. I need everything but a quarterback, in my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to act like I'm going to take a quarterback with the first overall pick, and then I'm going to trade it. If I'm the Chicago Bears, me, Ryan Poles, I am going to trade my very first pick overall, and I'm trying to get as much capital as I possibly can. All right. Now, for Justin Fields, if I am Ryan Poles, I stick with him. Unless somebody comes at me with an offer, I just can't refuse. Seemingly like 2 first-round draft picks in the 3rd or something like that, which I don't think nobody's going to they're just not going to drop that out here if they don't get their guy in the offseason or in this draft. So I'm going to trade my first-round pick, and I'm going to trade it for 2 first-round picks or 3 or whatever, because I think the last person who traded their first-round pick, their first overall pick, got 3 picks. Am I correct? I'm trying to remember what team that was, but they got 3 first-round picks. But I don't think they're going to be able to give up 3 first-round picks, whoever trades for them. I think they're probably at most, we're going to get 2, a second, and possibly like a condition, like a 4th or a 5th or something like that. But if I am the Bears, I'm trading my first overall pick, and I'm trading down. And it doesn't matter if I trade to the 4th pick with the Colts or if I trade all the way down to say like the 7th pick or who has the 7th pick, the Raiders. Word on the street, Blair, I don't know if you know this, the Detroit Lions has actually contacted the Chicago Bears for the first number 1 overall pick to try to select the D tackle from Georgia. So
Jalen Carter.
we'll see.
Because they
Mr.
straight
Jalen
sold them
Carter.
off, bro.
So do you guys agree with my decision, or do y'all feel like, nah, I'm picking somebody and I'm getting a quarterback or a defender?
I feel like if you're not getting a super left tackle, trade that hoe.
I think there's 2.
Is there a left tackle that is worth a top 5 pick?
Yes, I think there's 2 of them.
Think so?
Yeah, I think there's 2 of them.
Then I would get that person.
Yeah.
I would get that dude, bro. Because you have to find a way to help your quarterback. If you're not going to do that, trade the pick. And like you said, get as many assets as you can. But now you talking some draft picks, and maybe you'll be able to find something in free agency or with a trade or something. But I feel like if you got a chance to protect the kid's blind side, you need to do that.
Yeah.
So you can find out if he is your guy. Because if he isn't your guy, you'll be in the same situation again next year.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think there's 2 tackles that could be worth a top 5 pick. One is Peter Sorowski. I think that's how you say his last name. He's a tackle guard. He played multiple positions from Northwestern, and the tackle for Ohio State, Paris Johnson Jr. And
Would you take
those
either
2
of them? Would you take either of them over Jalen Carter at defensive tackle?
Yes, because I feel and this is why. This is why I would take them because I feel like it helps my team in my situation more than he would right now and in the future. Because I feel like a left tackle is long term, I feel like a left tackle is worth more than Jalen Carter at defensive tackle.
I don't know, because Jalen Carter is top 2 talent. Do you feel like the tackles?
I agree.
You feel like those tackles are top 2 talent?
I think those tackles are right in the mix with them. I think I'll say this. I'll say this for me and what I've observed in the tape that I've seen. Paris Johnson Jr. and Peter are they right there with those 2 defensive players. I'll probably have them 3 and 4, but long term, I feel like it'd be better for the Bears to pick a tackle, so it'll help out Justin Fields. It makes your offense better immediately. If you just take Jalen Carter right now and you don't really build on helping him out around him, the people around him, it's not going to make any difference. You're going to be picking number 2 or 3 next year again, all over again. I don't think the impact is as great as a left tackle could impact the team like that immediately. Not one of those dudes. One of those dudes I think those are 2 of the best left tackles that I've seen come out in a while.
My only thought is Buddy is his career hitched to Justin Fields because he didn't draft him?
No, it's not.
No,
that's what I'm saying. So sometimes they want to get the guy in that they think is their guy, and he might not feel whatever way about just because it didn't seem like they did much to put any help around him last year, and you pretty much knew what the team was last year, and it seemed like they didn't
they tore it down.
Yeah, it didn't seem like they tried to build anything out. So he kind of gets a clean slate. Now he gets the number 1 pick. I don't know, man. I would say he shouldn't trade it. I mean, he should trade it and, kind of try to build. But, if he's only gonna have a small window to kind of prove himself, because you don't know kind of how they operate, he might just pick a quarterback and try to trade Justin Fields. Somebody would make a trade either way, whether it was for Bryce Young, the pick, like whether they pick Bryce Young or they trade the pick or they try to trade Justin Fields. I think they could get something out of it in a way that may or may not benefit the team. I don't know, man. Like, because Chicago is terrible. They had a really bad team. Like, they need a lot of pieces.
I think.
But I will say this though, real quick. I will say this selfishly, as a fan and as the guy that said, I feel like I really truly believe in Justin Fields, and I feel like he can. Because remember, I'm the dude that said he could be an MVP candidate. Me personally, I would like to trade Justin Fields and trade the number 1 overall pick. Here's why: I would trade Justin Fields first, then I will flip. Everybody will know that, they're going to go quarterback and people are going to offer more for that number 1 overall pick. And I'll ship that number 1 pick out so fast. Boom. And then I'm really starting over because you basically tore it all the way down to the bare bones. The only thing
you don't
you
even
have
want to have
right now is
have a top 10
point,
pick on the team right now. You just want
at
to
that point, you gotta keep the number 1 pick because you gotta get one of these dudes, bruh.
Why? Why do I do that?
Here's the thing:
who's gonna play quarterback for you?
If he's
who cares?
Them,
he gonna suck anyway when he get out there. Because I ain't got nobody.
You're going to get fired, bro. Your job's not safe for that. That's not a safe job move.
What I'm saying is,
Chris, we're talking about people with a job, bro. This dude
I understand what you're saying, but me personally, the best way to do it, if it's really me, if I feel like I'm gonna get a fair offer for Justin Fields and I'm gonna get more than what I thought I was gonna get, okay, I trade him and then I'll go and I'll see who's the number 1 pick now. How is me keeping this pick helping me? Like, how am I going to do anything next year?
Because you get a top 10 player, bro.
You can still get a top 10 player if you trade away that number 1 overall pick and go down to 4 and still get the guy that you want. Get Jalen Carter or somebody.
Who is gonna play quarterback?
That's a big question.
It doesn't matter because they're gonna lose anyway.
No, yeah, dude. No, that's why you don't have a job if you do that. You are immediately getting fired.
You're gonna get fired if you pick up. Wait a minute. If he picks the number 1 pick overall and he picks Young from Alabama and they stink, which we all know they go stink anyway, and he get hurt.
If that dude literally has
multiple years,
2 or 3 games of like 3 touchdowns and 300 yards, they're gonna say he's the next. He ain't got to do it all season. They know Chicago's gonna stink, bro. You know they're gonna stink. That's what I'm
saying. If I'm gonna stink, let me break it all the way down.
Here's the thing:
you can't go in there with
everybody gets fired
with nothing.
Everybody gets fired for quarterbacks, bro.
That is the one thing. Get a quarterback
job faster than anything else in the
league.
Listen,
quarterback. The best way I think me and Darius agree. From my perspective, the best way to build a team is not to start with the quarterback. The best way to build a team is to start with the offense and defensive line. Now, if they keep the pick and they want to pick Jalen Carter or they want to pick other buddy from Alabama, whose name is escaping me right now, all right, I'm cool with that too. But for me personally, I can still flip that pick, pick it, trade with the Colts, get their number 4 pick, probably get their pick next year because all they thinking they still a quarterback away probably because they the Colts. And I'll get that pick this year and next year, and I'll still get a defender that I want.
If you get the number 4 pick, you have to pick a quarterback. This is the thing.
You cannot go down without picking a quarterback, bro.
Listen.
I don't.
If you get rid of the number 1 pick and keep Justin Fields and build, because you don't know what he is. Because of the state of the team. So what you have to do, hold on. So what you have to do as the GM, if you're going to cut him loose, you need a valid reason. Now, if you
do they go get Jimmy Garoppolo?
Thank you. That's all I was about to say. You can go get Jimmy Garoppolo, you go get Derek Carr, and you say one of those dudes is my quarterback.
Derek ain't
So,
signing with them.
first,
That ain't happening.
You not
I'm just
gonna get
saying. I'm
Derek
just
Carr,
saying. If I
'cause
offer,
Derek
I mean,
Carr
I'm just
wants to
saying.
go to an organization that
That
he
doesn't
feels he
suck.
has a chance to win. Two, you gonna give up your quarterback who is. First of all, we've already established that your team is still gonna be trash. So you gonna go get a quarterback who can't stay healthy?
I
Over
understand,
Justin
but
Fields.
hey, you asked who was going to be the quarterback. Blair gave you the answer. Jimmy Garoppolo, baby.
That's about the
Jimmy
only.
G.
That's about the only
That's what I'm
way
saying.
that works,
That's what
What
bro.
is
You gotta pick
what
up
is the
some
G?
dude
I
like
don't
that.
have to pick a quarterback.
What's the
I
GM's
don't have
name?
to keep the pick.
Ryan Poles.
Ryan Poles.
Ryan Poe. We thank you for your service here in Chicago and for the Chicago
Here's your
Bears
severance
organization.
package. You have a good day. You're getting
All right,
fired,
Sean,
bro.
buddy.
Sean, remember that was not my original plan. I was just saying
No,
I just
I
threw that
got
out
you. I
there.
got you.
But Sean, what you think about the original plan and or whichever way you want to take it?
I mean, the whole idea of trade Justin Fields is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
Like they said, if you don't have an offensive lineman, if you got an offensive lineman that you got on your draft board that's in your top 4, go get him. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, trade out of it. And you might get who you was already looking at that 4th pick. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I would go with it. But again, I understand what Blair is saying. Like, far as a lot of new head coaches and GMs, they come into an organization, and if that's not their guy, they get rid of him.
You're trying to make your own imprint, man.
So, and that's the thing. They wanna have their own imprint, like he said. They want to have their own history and say, "Hey, I went and got that guy." You know what I'm saying? Because people talk about Aaron Rodgers to this day. That man sat, and then he a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? But I think actually you would do a good job what you said at first. The other shit, that was some Madden shit, bro.
Listen. So you
This
said,
is what
wait a
I was
minute.
telling
So
you, Sean.
That's
the only way that this would work, right? So, like y'all was saying, GMs like to bring in their own guy. So this year, you would have to trade that pick and work and put the best team around him that you can. If you can put together a decent product and he still struggles mightily, then you can get away with, well,
getting rid of him.
this ain't my guy anyway. I could do this, that, and the third. But you gotta at least give him
Attempt
a
to put a
fighting
team around
chance.
him, bro.
Yeah, you gotta give him a fighting chance.
Correct. But also, like what Blair said, why can't I just go and get a veteran quarterback if I feel more comfortable getting a veteran quarterback? And if that doesn't work out, next year I can go get my guy.
But here's the the only that's the
I
only
go
one
get
I thought
Jimmy
about was Jimmy, bro. That's the only person I thought about was Jimmy.
You might as well keep Justin Fields for that.
I understand. Me personally, I understand. That is not my plan. But what I'm saying is, if I'm in that seat, why not entertain getting the most assets that I possibly can? Listen, we all agree that the Browns had one of the best rosters in the league, and them fools decided they wanted to pick a quarterback after they had built their entire team, correct? They just picked the wrong niggas. That's all they did. They just picked the wrong QB.
But hold on, man. We can't use a franchise who has
I understand. You know what I'm saying, though.
Terrible
record at picking
quarterbacks. And until we see Deshaun Watson next year, the streak still stands.
I feel you. But what I'm saying is the best way to build a team is from the fronts on back. So I gotta get the offensive linemen.
Yeah, he doesn't
have to get the offensive defensive line.
But he has to come out of this summer with something.
Like, I understand.
You have to come out of this summer showing something, bro.
I understand what you're saying.
Imagine if you trade Justin Fields and now he on a semi-decent team and shit, his team go fucking 10-7.
Listen,
and the Bears still sitting here at fucking because you already assume that they're gonna be trash. So it's gonna be
I
like,
feel you.
dang, if we would have kept Justin Fields, man, we could have been blah 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 in a division that might lose Aaron Rodgers.
He ain't going nowhere. I mean, we could talk about that another day, but he ain't going nowhere. But I understand what y'all saying. All I'm saying is if I fall down to the 4th pick and I'm still able to pick Jalen Carter or what's my man out of Alabama name? Will Anderson. If I'm able to pick say I'm not able to pick Jalen Carter and Will Anderson still on the board, and I go to the 4th pick, I trade with the Colts. They give me their first round pick this year and next year, and they 3rd next year as well, or their 3rd this year, right? I go down to the 4th pick and I get Will Anderson. That's my guy right there. We got Will Anderson. We was last in sacks. This young man gonna come off the edge and do his thing. That's fine with me. You know what I'm saying? If they keep Justin Fields, I feel like they should me personally, I think they should go and get an offensive lineman. Even if they fall all the way to like 7th or 8th or something like that, you got to get an offensive lineman at that point because I feel like that's the best value for where you're picking from. And I think the 2 offensive linemen that are there, I'm just reiterating my original point as the GM. This is me, the real GM. I will trade out of the pick. I'll go back. No, it doesn't matter. As long as I'm still in that top, I'll say the top 7 to 8. Because pretty much everybody in there, most of those people would like to have a quarterback. Who you got? The Raiders are in there, the Colts are in there, the Texans are in there, the Seahawks are in there.
Looking for a quarterback?
Yes, they ain't got one. They
let go. They were going to go with Stidham. I thought they was going with Stidham. That's why he let Carr go.
They're not going to keep Jarrett Stidham. If they do, well, we know where they're going to be picking next year. You got the Panthers in there.
Just assume they're going to be bad. Jarrett Stidham bad? Like, has he have a proven track record of being butt cheeks when he gets the rings?
Oh no,
he gets the rings. I don't think so.
You know where he started? He started with your boys, man. He started with the Patriots.
The Pats. I know that's how he ended up going with Josh McDaniels. Yes, I get that, bro.
Bill Belichick. First of all, it was his pick, but it's the head coach of the Raiders now. It was his pick. They picked the Buddy because he said that he was good. He got to Patriots camp, and Bill Belichick walked up to him and said, "Hey, man, we ain't never, ever letting you pick a quarterback by yourself ever again. That's it." So if you really believe in Jarrett Stidham, and he might just do it, just might have the ego to go ahead and do it. Nah, bro, he ain't it for me. But I'm just saying, me personally, a lot of those guys, most of those teams in the top 10, I say at least half of them need a quarterback. The Falcons need a quarterback. The Panthers need a quarterback. The Raiders need a quarterback. Seattle is debatable. They may or may not, depends on how they feel. The Colts need a quarterback. Hell, the Texans really low key. The Cardinals need a quarterback because they ain't got one for next year because Buddy hurt. So I mean, who knows? But all I'm saying is they should trade out of that pick as long as they're within that range, all the way from 1 to 8. They should fall back and get them an offensive lineman, and they'll be sitting pretty, and you'll have other assets on top of that. That's the best way to do it. I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to drive up the price, and we see all that, and that the reports came out said they're leaning towards trading in it. That's just to let people know that we open to trading this motherfucker. We ain't just settle right here. That's all what that is for. You know, they're playing the game. They playing the game. And it just depending on who gonna come up here and get the guy that they said that they want. Pretty much more likely than not, next week around this time, somebody gonna be like, hey, they're gonna go to that combine because I think everybody is throwing at the combine.
Not all of them, but like 3 of them.
Not all of everybody for the most part. Like a lot of the top prospects are throwing, except for Bryce Young. Bryce Young is the only one that opted out. He just said, "I'm gonna do the medical stuff."
Pro day, probably the pro day. Yeah, he ain't doing that.
Yeah, at his pro day,
he's not trying to ruin nothing, man. I'm surprised he even gonna show up to the combine. Because he don't want to show them nothing.
So, I mean, it is what it is. But I think he's still going to get measured, like do the measurements and the weight, and he get weighed in and all that other stuff. I think he's going to do that, but he's just not going to throw. So a lot of top picks don't throw. So, but hey, a lot of them said that they're going to throw, man. So we'll see. CJ said he was going to throw. Buddy from Kentucky said he was going to throw. Anthony Richardson said he was going to throw. So it's going to be interesting to see on this weekend what teams fall in love with. Who they fall in love with. Like, all right, are we gonna go get our guy or nah? And so in about 2 weeks in time, you're gonna figure it out because we ain't got long to the draft. The draft is in April. And they're gonna be like, hey, what we gonna do? So it's gonna be interesting, man. That's gonna wrap it up for us this week, y'all. Continue to like, share, subscribe. Let us know in the comments what would y'all do with the number 1 overall pick? If y'all felt some type of way about what Giannis had to say, I'm sure Brianna will be in there. Then, is Jake Paul done? Let us know. Talk with us, man. We have a communication. It's open lines of communication, man. Pretty soon we're going to do a call-in show yet again. And we're going to let y'all call in and say what y'all need to say. Speak y'all piece. You know what I'm saying? But please like, share, subscribe. We'll holler at y'all next week. Next week, number 2 overall pick. We'll decide who will do that one. We out. Deuce.
Peace.